Kia ora, I'm Emmanuel Wachuku. Welcome to week 11, Dynasty Speak Online Plus, level 4 general. As you're well aware, we are right in the thick of assessments, but our schedule's changing a little bit. Your teacher would have told you by now that starting from this week, Monday, uh, you now have fixed slots of sessions with your teacher that might not necessarily be the same times as you've been doing them before. So if, for example, your classes ran on Mondays, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays, you now have slots on Mondays, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays, and so on. So your teacher would have communicated that to you. So in those sessions, as with the other Google Meet sessions you'd been doing before now, your teacher will go over some of the work that we post with you online and possibly extra materials, depending on what you need to prepare for, well, to learn as you've signed up and to prepare for assessments. So in this video, I will show you the things that are being posted this week. So we've got a reading text for you, and we've also got two worksheets that help you practice for your writing assessment that's coming up. And finally, we have um, the last thing that we have for you is a listening, which is not going to be posted though, but I'll tell you more about that shortly. So starting with the reading, this is on 5G technology, which you would have heard of a lot by now. This reading text here, not too long, talks about 5G technology, and afterwards you're expected to answer some questions that follow, including a brief summary of the text, the purpose of the text, a main idea and supporting details table, and finally your own opinion on some concerns raised by characters talked about in the text. And that's really all you need to do for your reading. Do those and turn them in, and you're good. Now, the next here is on plagiarism. Now, this word you should start getting familiar with because basically it means it tells you how not okay it is to copy someone else's work or copy stuff off the internet from a book or wherever else without acknowledging where you got that information from. Okay, so basically don't steal someone else's um, intellectual idea. That's what plagiarism is about in a nutshell. So here, what you have to do is watch a video first. So in that video, there is the speaker talks about five most common types of plagiarism, and in this box provided here, you're expected to write down those common types of plagiarism talked about. Here's an extra thing for you. It's not spelled out here, but you can write the types down. But can you also write just a tiny little detail about each one? What the speaker says about each one. That would be also really good listening practice for you. After you've done that, you move on to the next section. The next part of the task is there are some texts given here. Actually, there is a text given here, and there are 5 versions of that text, and each one comes with an explanation saying why it is plagiarized or not plagiarized. Okay, well, actually they're all plagiarized. So all but one, 4 out of 5 are plagiarized. So it gives you the reasons why they're considered plagiarism and why the one that is not is not. After you finish that, then you get to have a go at detecting plagiarism yourself. So here, for example, is a short paragraph, and you are expected to read it and say if Charles, the person that's the subject of the text, has plagiarized or not. Okay? So here you see it says Charles has or has not plagiarized. You select one of these 2 bold options, and in the box below here, give your reason for your choice. Okay? Give your reason for the decision that you've made. And there are a couple more after that. There's 5 in total. And that's the exercise that you need to do on plagiarism. So when I talked about plagiarism, really it's about, like I said, stealing someone else's intellectual idea. And one of the ways to avoid doing that is to either quote directly, using quotation marks, which is why I'm doing that, or to paraphrase, meaning put in your own words what that person has said. But of course, at the end, acknowledge the source of that writing, of that idea, by putting, in brackets, the name of the person you got the idea from, the name of the author you got the idea from, and when their work was published, and of course putting it in the reference as well, in your reference list. So here in this worksheet, in this third worksheet, there are some steps given you on how to paraphrase, as in how to put someone else's idea in your own words correctly, as in show the meaning that the person was conveying in your own words. So here are some simple steps on how to do that, after which you get a shot at doing it yourself. Here is an example for you to look at, an original text and the paraphrase of that, okay? Now, after that, you get to also paraphrase a couple of paragraphs yourself. How many in total? 2 paragraphs. So you read the text, and in the box below it, you try rewriting the meaning in that original text in your own words. Okay? And for the final thing that you have to look at this week, it's actually not going to be posted, but I just wanted to remind you in this video. You would have done 1 or 2 of these listening practice exercises I'm about to show you with your teacher before the lockdown. So one of them is a monologue. The refugee crisis is a test of our character. And the other is a dialogue, which is talking about some high school students' project to do with immigration. So your teacher will revisit whichever one of these or both of them that they have done with you in class. You will get another shot at doing it, and you will be able to get feedback as well from your teacher on the skills that you need to work on for your listening. And that's really all that we're posting this week in order to allow you focus on your assessments and all the other things that you need to do. Please, in addition to these things that we post on a weekly basis, it's very important that you keep doing your Dynaspeak online units, because in those units, there are also other exercises that you may not necessarily cover in the sessions with your teacher, but that are very, very important, very relevant to the learning that you have signed up for, as well as the assessments that you are now doing. So please carry on doing those as often as you can in order to not get behind. And feel free to ask your teacher any questions about anything that you are confused about, especially in those sessions that you are now going to get on a more regular basis. And whilst doing that, don't forget to take very good care of yourself and stay safe for the remainder of however long this lockdown period is going to last. Kia ora.